Well, welcome. I'm very happy you're all here. If you could just take a moment and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. What city, what state? I'd like to know kind of where you're coming from, and also what is the most important thing you're hoping to gain from taking the time to be here tonight to listen to this talk. Just as we're waiting for people to join, let's look at the chat box. Hi, Toya. Hi, Joe. Where are you guys from? Detroit, Michigan. All right. Thank you for joining. It's a little later there. I'm on the Pacific coast, where it's 5. So yeah, you want Maryland. Excellent. Vancouver, Canada. I love it. You guys want info on hot flashes. That's what we're here to talk about, among other things. Iowa. All right. Got some people joining in from all over. I love to see that. I love to see that. Well, first, I want to just say thank you all for taking the time to attend tonight. This talk is so important, and when I put it together, I was just really excited about sharing this information with you guys because I don't feel like there's enough information out there for women going through perimenopause and menopause, and it's almost like we're all supposed to suffer in silence. And we don't need to, because there's a lot to understand about what's going on in your body. And most importantly, there's a lot that can be done. And that's what I'm here. I'm going to give you a lot of free information and education and takeaways. And I'm also going to be sharing information about something called glutathione. It's a product that I've created, best daily ever, that it's new. And I want you guys to be part of experiencing it. And towards the end of the talk, I'll share with you. I'm going to actually include that product for free with one of our programs because I want to hear your feedback. And so that's coming. I'm going to talk about detoxification and purification, how powerful that can be for dealing with menopausal symptoms. I've been using a purification program in my medical practice for the past 20 plus years. And so it's tried and true. It works. And I feel like all women should know about it and be able to use it. Same thing with glutathione. And I'll go into all of that. But without further ado, the topic of this talk is natural menopause relief, what your doctors don't tell you. And I'm going to move the chat box over a little so I can see. All right. So let's get started, guys. So why are we here? What's the reason for being here? I imagine you guys are wanting to understand menopause and what are all the symptoms tied to menopause and perimenopause. I'm going to introduce a glutathione and its potential benefits. I'm very passionate about this. It's a tripeptide, is a combination of 3 amino acids. It's amazingly helpful for women going through this phase of life. And then I'm going to provide you with actionable steps to help alleviate your symptoms. And so you can start feeling better right away. And so tell me that those are my objectives of why I'm assuming you're here. But share in the chat box, why are you here? You guys started to share things like wanting to know about hot flashes. What else? You want to learn about HRT, so bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Absolutely, we're going to be talking about that. You want to learn about the connection between hair loss and menopause, and we will talk about that. You're interested in hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and how those conditions are interconnected with things that are happening when you're going through perimenopause and menopause. Mood swings and hormones, a big tummy. Yeah, that's common. It's considered normal and it's not normal. And so we'll talk about how to deal with that. Hormones and libido, vaginal dryness. All of these things are super relevant and important to learn how to address. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. Very good. Oops, we'll go back one. Okay. This is a picture of me, not because I like to show myself off, but I have to share it. So this was on my 51st birthday. And the reason I'm sharing it with you is because I'm in better shape now than I've ever been. And we're all taught that, as you reach perimenopause and into menopause, you gain weight in your abdomen and you have trouble sleeping and life just kind of gets bleh, right? And that's not true. It doesn't have to be that way. And I do practice what I preach. I'm really adamant about that. I've been passionate about purification programs and detoxing and taking glutathione and measuring hormone levels. And, I take bioidentical hormones, I give them to my patients. And so I practice what I preach. And I want to share it with any woman who is interested in knowing how to do this because it's doable. And so, yeah, a little bit about me. I'm a naturopathic physician. I've been practicing for over 20 years. I am licensed as a primary care physician. I specialize in hormone balance therapies, detoxification. I've written some books. I'm president emeritus of the California Naturopathic Doctors Association, and I'm a mom, and I'm 51. And so that kind of sums it up in a nutshell. And I really love working with women and helping women to feel their very best. And as I'm going through this presentation with you, it's oftentimes I'll hear from women, I don't have the time to focus on my own health. I don't have time to do this. I'd love to do a 21-day purification program, but I don't have the time for it. I have to cook for my family. I have to work, etc. And don't worry about that. Let me help address that for you, because if anybody doesn't have the time, I know what you're experiencing. You do have the time, and I'll help you to find the time to be able to take care of yourself today. It's almost like tonight can be the line in the sand. You've dealt with these symptoms, you don't feel well, you're frustrated, you might feel a little hopeless, and you don't have to. And so have tonight be that line in the sand where that's the past. And beginning tonight, you make a change, because the right time to make a change is now. You've taken the time to come here and listen, and you're wanting to take action. And so I encourage you to do that. And there's different ways to take action. And I want you to make decisions that are best for you. So we have different levels of offerings in terms of what you can do next. Choose one that resonates with who you are. Okay. And then even at the end of the webinar, if you have questions or you're not sure, you're going to have the opportunity, because you're attending tonight. And thank you. We have a lot of free things we're going to be giving away at the end of this. And so stay tuned. It'll be worth it. But you'll also be given the opportunity to schedule a call with me directly, just about 5 to 10 minutes to go over your specific situation. And I can maybe help, if you need it, to navigate what to do next. And so that's all waiting for you towards the end of this webinar. So let's talk about detoxification. Why does it matter? There is a ton of research making the association between toxins in our environment, and there are many, in the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe. It's real. It's happening. And mental health issues. So toxins can lead to depression, anxiety, mood disorders. And there's a direct connection there. And a lot of people aren't talking about that. Toxin exposure affects your physical health. It can make you have low energy. It can make you gain weight. It can lower your immune system. It can cause brain fog. Toxins can cause people to have what's called cognitive decline, where you're just not thinking as clearly as you once did. Toxins impact hormones. So there are some toxins in the environment that are called xenoestrogens. So those are in the form of usually pesticides and some herbicides. They actually mimic estrogen. So they look like estrogen to your body. And why is that an issue? Well, when you have hormones, you have something called hormone receptors. And the hormone has to bind to the receptor in order for there to be an action, right? So there are things called xenoestrogens, toxins in our environment that we're all exposed to every day. It's unless you live in a bubble, you're exposed to them. There's no way around it nowadays. Anyway, that toxin will bind to those same hormone receptors that you need, because without those receptors and without the proper hormone binding to it, you're not going to have the action, the good action of a hormone. Those toxic things bind to there, and that wreaks havoc. It blocks healthy estrogen from having the action it's supposed to have. And we're going to go into what is estrogen, what is progesterone, what do they do in the body, and all of that. But as you go through menopause, your estrogen and progesterone go down. So anyway, toxins affect your hormones in a big way. And again, not a lot of people are talking about this. And we need to have this conversation and take action to deal with it. Exposure to toxins impacts your sexual health. So because it impacts your hormones, it also impacts your sex drive. And also toxins cause like low energy. So if you're tired and you kind of are having depression or anxiety because of exposure to toxins, you're not really in the mood to have sex. And then it also impacts your skin. Your skin is actually the largest detox organ in your body. And so as you're exposed to toxins and they're not getting out through your skin, or there's too many toxins and basically your system gets bogged down, it's going to show up in problems with your skin. And there's so much more. Which is the most important of all those things I just ran through rather quickly? What jumped out for you as the most important thing that you feel that you're here to address? Like, take a moment, pause, and think about that. Like, what is really affecting you the most? And let me know. Balancing hormones. Yeah. What else, you guys? Yeah, a lot of my clients have issues with low libido. Yeah. Yeah. And you wouldn't think, like, what do toxins have to do with libido? A lot, actually. And we'll talk more about that. There's something called the human detoxification system. It's one of the most powerful systems in the body, just like the circulatory system, and the digestive system. There's a human detoxification system. And it's a whole system in the body that's working 24/7. Every cell in your body is involved. And it's comprised of your gut. And we're hearing a lot about gut health these days, your liver, your skin, your kidneys, and your lymphatic system. Those are the main detoxification organs in your body, but there's a whole system that's called the human detoxification system. And that needs to get balanced out. And when you're exposed to too many toxins, you have too much stress, that whole system gets bogged down, and then you have symptoms. Does detoxing help balance hormones? 100%. Yes, yes, and yes. And does it help with mental health? Yes. It's quite amazing. It's remarkable to watch, actually. I've been doing this for so long. One of my favorite things to see is when somebody starts on the 21-day purification program, kind of their mental state. They could be depressed or frustrated or angry. And then I see them shift over that 21-day period. It's amazing. And they're not taking a medication. You're just removing toxins from your body, supporting what your body naturally does. Really important to know, your body naturally detoxifies all the time. And again, because it's found, the processes of detoxing is found in every cell in your body, it speaks to how powerful that system is. So oftentimes people will say, well, Dr. Gina, if my body does this naturally, why do I have to do anything, to help it out? And my answer is, it's my truth that our bodies haven't evolved to the point of being able to handle the sheer volume of toxins and stress that we are faced with today. And by the way, toxins can come in the form of viral infections, bacterial infections, and so forth. Your body will actually produce toxins to help fight off those things. And that's a good thing, but it can get out of hand. And then the system gets bogged down. Let's move along. So what is perimenopause and menopause? So perimenopause is essentially the period before menopause. It can last up to 10 years. A lot of people don't realize that. So you can, start experiencing symptoms of perimenopause when you're in your 30s. And every woman is different, but it can last for a 10-year period. Menopause is when you've had no menstrual cycle for 1 year, and there's a real significant drop of estrogen and progesterone levels. However, when you're going through perimenopause, that 10-year period, your hormone levels are gradually declining. And then sometimes you'll have these weird fluctuations where your hormone levels go really high and then go really low. And that's where women get into a lot of trouble in terms of mood swings, inflammation, sudden weight gain. And it can be a real roller coaster. And that's where detoxing actually helps with hormone clearance and the balancing of that whole process. Question: do you know what phase that you're in personally? Do you know if you're in the perimenopausal phase or in the menopausal phase or postmenopausal phase? No. Yeah. It's important to start to look at where you're at. And that can be done through hormone testing. If, again, by definition, you're in menopause if you haven't had a menstrual cycle for a 1 year, then you are for sure. And guaranteed if you get your blood work done. And I always recommend that people work with a qualified healthcare practitioner who is very well versed in how to test for and balance hormones, because there's a lot to it. There are a lot of nuances to how you test, so what you ask your doctor for on the blood test, and then how you go about treating it. And so a number of you are in the perimenopausal phase. If you've had a hysterectomy, it's hard to know. You were essentially put into menopause, usually, depending on the type of hysterectomy. And so that's step one, is where am I at? So when you're in the perimenopausal phase, the first hormone to decline is something called progesterone. And I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. And progesterone has amazing anti-anxiety effects. It's really a calming hormone. It's very important for bone building. And so it's one of the reasons why, as you women go through perimenopause and menopause, they have an increased risk for bone loss because their progesterone levels go down. And then after that, their estrogen levels go down. Estrogen is the hydration hormone. So think, a vaginal lubrication, your skin, hydrated skin, even fluidity of thoughts are all tied to estrogen. And so over that 10-year period, there's this gradual decline. And then all of a sudden, levels drop. And in a lot of patients, it's like down to nothing. And so let's continue here. So what are some of the common symptoms of menopause? Irregular periods, mood swings. Mood swings is a big one. And, these are also common symptoms of perimenopause. Poor digestion. You wouldn't think like your things happening with your gut would be tied to a decline in hormones, but it is. Lower sex drive. Hot flashes is the big one. That's due to deficiency of estrogen. Changes in your sleep patterns. So progesterone is very helpful for helping you fall asleep and stay asleep. So as those levels decline in your body, having issues with sleep can be a very common thing. Dry, aging skin, like who wants that? And then weight gain, that classic 10-pound plus weight gain in your belly. That's due to deficiency of hormones. And you don't have to deal with that. So what are the hormones involved in menopause? I've been mentioning it a little bit. Estrogen, like I said, is the hydration hormone. That estrogen is tied to if you're going to have hot flashes or not. So as estrogen levels go down enough, those hot flashes kick in. And the way to balance that out can be a couple ways. One is to naturally balance out your estrogen levels with things like detoxification, using glutathione. That's that product I talked about that I created. It's called Best Daily Ever. And one of the beneficial side effects of this product, I didn't create it for this purpose, is to help with women going through perimenopause and menopause. And even women who don't want to use hormones. you'll see a change in hormone levels. And it's because glutathione is a key detoxifying ingredient that helps with the clearance and balance of hormones in the body. Progesterone. So progesterone is the first hormone to decline over time. And again, progesterone is tied to things like sleep. Low progesterone can trigger anxiety in a lot of women. It can trigger restlessness. It can contribute to bone loss. So progesterone stimulates what's called osteoblast activity. Those are bone building cells. And so you want progesterone in your body. It's very important for bone health as well. There are estrogen and progesterone and testosterone receptors in your brain. And so progesterone actually helps with increasing GABA activity. GABA is a calming neurotransmitter, so it helps with calm. Testosterone is also involved. That's typically, testosterone can be tied to low sex drive, but I've also noticed estrogen plays an important role there as well, because estrogen deficiency will lead to vaginal dryness, and that will impact sexual health in women, but so does testosterone. And testosterone levels can decline. You want to make sure that your doctor tests you for all of these hormones and looks at the ratios of one hormone to another. So it's oftentimes patients will say, well, what's the perfect number of estrogen on my lab test? Or doctors will ask me this too if I'm doing a training to doctors or pharmacists. There is no perfect number. It's relative to who you are, what your symptoms are. It's relative, like one hormone's number relative to the other hormone's number. In the body, a lot of the times it's about ratios, relative amount of one hormone to another. And it's about balance. So you don't want too much estrogen and not enough progesterone. That will lead to something called estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance causes inflammation. And then cortisol. So cortisol is your stress hormone. Cortisol is secreted by your adrenal stress glands. They look like two little hats that sit on top of your kidneys. And those are your fight or flight glands. And so cortisol is so key. It's kind of central to all the other hormones. So if your cortisol, that stress hormone, is out of balance, it affects all of the other hormones. So stress and managing stress is extremely important to optimizing your hormone levels. And that's where the 21-day purification program comes in. It really helps to lower the stress response. And that is one of the reasons why it works to help with hormone balance. So what are some of the common treatments that you can receive to deal with some of these symptoms? Hormone replacement therapy, just classic hormone replacement therapy. There's things called Premarin and Prempro. Those are commonly prescribed. Those are synthetic hormones. I'm not a huge advocate of using synthetic hormones because there is research out there showing that those hormones can increase risk significantly for things like ovarian cancer and breast cancer in some women. And so I gravitate more towards bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And again, this all has to be done under the care of a qualified doctor who knows what they're doing, knows your background, your medical history to make the best decisions possible. But I'm an advocate of using bioidentical hormones. What are those? Basically, they're hormones that mimic what your body already makes. So synthetic hormones like Premarin, Prempro, those are they're not the same as the hormones that your body naturally makes. Actually, Premarin is derived from horse urine, Premarin. And so that's not really bioidentical. And then there's something called progestin. Progestin is not progesterone. I would remember that. I would even write that down. So progestin is a synthetic form of progesterone. And progestin, there is good research showing that it can increase risk for hormone-sensitive cancers. And so I'm an advocate for using bioidentical progesterone. So where do you get these hormones? They're prescribed by a doctor, and you get them usually from a compounding pharmacy. So for me, when I'm working with I have like very specific compounding pharmacies that I'll work with, that I've worked with for decades. And so you really have to trust where the hormones are coming from. But I will formulate the hormones based on what that patient needs. Some patients may need higher levels of progesterone. Some patients might need more estrogen or something called estriol, which is a weaker form of estrogen, but it's naturally occurring in the body. So there are a lot of nuances there. But bottom line, it's more natural. It's more customized for the patient as well. And if you want to work with a doctor who is familiar with using them and has been for a long time. You can use herbal medicines as well. So things like black cohosh, red clover are natural medicines that have phytoestrogens and phytoprogesterones in them. So they actually have chemicals that look kind of like estrogen, kind of like progesterone, but they're naturally occurring in these herbs. And so some women do great with just taking the herbal medicines. And then there's glutathione is not a common treatment, but I think glutathione is extremely helpful in helping to balance hormones in women going through perimenopause and menopause. And then there's stress modification techniques, super important because I mentioned cortisol. Cortisol is that stress hormone and it's central to all the other hormones. So what are you doing to balance your stress response? Type in the chat now. What are some things you do on a daily basis because you're exposed to stress every day? What do you do consciously every day to help your body handle stress, to help you handle stress in a healthier way? It's okay if you say, I don't, because my whole point asking this is make the decision today to do something daily that will help you handle stress in a healthier way. It could be spending time in nature. So spending time in nature, listening to the sounds of nature regulates cortisol, that stress hormone, better than any medication out there. Just going outside and listening to the sounds of nature. And there's tons of research backing that. And so that could be something you say, okay, starting tomorrow morning, I'm going outside. I'm taking a 10-minute walk at some point during the day, and I'm going to listen to the sounds of nature, whether it's the birds, the trees. That whole concept of hugging a tree comes into play here. I can't emphasize enough how important it is for you as women to do something daily to help your body handle stress, because you have all these hormones fluctuating in your body. You have a lot going on. So take care of yourself. Make the decision. I'm here to help you. I will be there with you. I'm happy you are a part of this community by joining tonight. And so I'm here with you. And whether it's starting by, I'm going to take this Best Daily Ever glutathione. I'm going to take that every day. I'm going to spend time in nature. I'm going to do the 21-day purification program. Whatever it is that's going to work for you, make the decision tonight. Like I said, you're taking the time. Some of you guys are on the East Coast. It's late. Thank you for staying up to listen to this. And I hope you find incredible value in it. But make a decision tonight, that you take action to take care of yourself, because you are the most important. So moving along. Detoxification's role in menopause. How are they connected? Well, your liver is one of your main detoxification organs. Your liver helps to clear hormones from your body. So even if you're taking bioidentical hormones or synthetic hormones, even if you're doing something to replenish the deficiency of hormones in your body, equally important is how is your body processing those hormones? Your liver is critical for this. If your liver is not detoxifying in a healthy way, or it is bogged down because of the volume of toxins that we are faced with, whether you're taking medications, you're fighting an illness, you're breathing the air, you're eating the food, you're drinking water, it's hard to avoid. If your liver's bogged down, your body's not going to clear hormones in a healthy way. And if it doesn't, you're going to have more significant symptoms of menopause. It's just going to happen. You're going to gain more weight. You're going to feel more stressed. You're going to have worse mood swings. There's going to be more fluctuations of your hormones. So detoxification, by helping to clear hormones from your body, by helping to clear those toxins that mimic hormones but are synthetic and are blocking any natural hormones that your body may be making from actually having an effect on your body. By getting rid of that, taking the time to support what your body is already doing 24/7. I can't emphasize that enough. It speaks to how powerful this system of the body is. It's operating 24/7 in every one of your trillions of cells. So, when I was early on in my medical school training, I was taught for women who are going through issues with fertility, one of the first things I was taught to do was to put them on a detoxification program first, before even addressing anything else, because it helps with the clearance of toxins and it helps with hormonal balance. And sometimes even just doing that was enough to help somebody who wants to become a mom to become a mom. So detoxification is very important. So the role of glutathione, I'm always, I kind of decided years ago, I want to make glutathione a household name. And I can't understand why everybody doesn't know about it and why doctors aren't using it more. They were taught, about glutathione. Some doctors use it in their practice. I think more doctors need to use it in their practice. And I think everybody needs to know about this. One of the reasons it's kind of a weird word, glutathione, like who's going to remember that? So I coined the phrase vitamin G. It's easier to remember. But what is it? It's the mother of all antioxidants. What's an antioxidant? Basically, if you have a toxin, you need something to bind to that toxin and render it inactive in your body. That's what an antioxidant is. So glutathione is like the mother. It's the best antioxidant we know of. And it's also your body's most important detoxifier. It is such an important part of the detoxification process in every cell in your body. It's manufactured by every cell in your body, glutathione is. It's a combination of 3 amino acids, glutamic acid, cysteine, and glycine. And it will basically help to protect the mitochondria of your cells. So the mitochondria is the powerhouse of your cells. It's where energy is produced. You might be hearing more about mitochondrial health. That's kind of becoming a popular thing out there. Well, glutathione is what protects the mitochondria from toxins and damage from toxins. What's interesting is another word for toxins is free radicals. So free radicals or toxins, where do they tend to go? They tend to gravitate to the mitochondria of your cells, the powerhouse of your cells. They go right to one of the most important parts of your cells. Well, guess what? Glutathione is manufactured there to protect the mitochondria from that harm. So that's why glutathione is so important in your body. Making sure you have enough glutathione in your body leads to more balanced hormones, improves sleep, normalizes the whole inflammatory process, supports detoxification. There's over 100,000 clinical research studies that have been done on glutathione. So it's very powerful. Glutathione's impact on hormones. And so glutathione, because it's so critical for detoxification, it is critical for hormone balance. I talked about the connection between liver detoxification and just detoxification in general and hormones, and why it's so important to get rid of those toxins to allow the healthy hormones to bind to the receptors and have the good effect in your body and promote hormone balance. And glutathione is such a key to the whole detoxification process in every cell in your body. Interestingly, in the brain, so as we go through perimenopause and menopause, we manufacture less glutathione. So the body manufactures less as we grow up, get older, age. And so our brain becomes particularly vulnerable to the exposure to toxins. So our brain is more vulnerable to toxins than anywhere else in our bodies. And the glutathione levels gradually decline in your brain, making your brain more vulnerable to toxin exposure. So glutathione crosses what's called the blood-brain barrier. So it gets to the brain and it protects your cells, your brain cells, from damage. That leads to things like cognitive decline, sleep disorders, mood disorders, even Alzheimer's. and Parkinson's disease. There is some research that's making a connection between glutathione levels in the brain and those conditions. So the benefits of detoxing with glutathione, well, it's the main detoxification agent in your body. So when you detox, and I added glutathione to our 21-day purification program, and we have a group program that I'm going to be talking about. I'm very excited about that. I definitely invite you to participate in. Bear with me as we get towards the end of this webinar. You're going to have an amazing deal to be part of the group purification program. It's an intimate experience. You get my attention, and it's very specific for you, and you get the support you need to succeed, because I'm really big on women having the support they need and deserve to accomplish their goals, and in this case, accomplish the goal of detoxing and experiencing more hormonal balance. So a lot of women, as they detox and we use glutathione in their detox program, they'll experience less hot flashes, less mood swings. Just think hormone balance, improved sleep quality, the weight gain just kind of naturally falls off, especially in the stomach area. Improved skin health, and then it boosts the libido and improves energy levels. Why? Because you're clearing out the toxins that are affecting the mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cells, the energy producers of your cells. So our cells aren't being energized the way they used to be. And glutathione helps to re-energize your cells. So back up for a second. So this next couple of slides, these are real people, real patients who have used this glutathione formula. And I picked ones that are relevant to this topic of perimenopause and menopause. And I think you'll appreciate the videos. So.
54 years old. I was 52 at the time, and I was beginning to experience what would be like menopause-like symptoms. And I wasn't willing to try any hormone replacement therapy. I didn't want to seek any doctor's advice. I just kind of wanted it to go away. So actually, as an experiment, I started taking the glutathione supplements, and within maybe a week, any related symptoms went away. So whether that was coincident or not, I'm not sure, but I can tell you that I've continued to take it daily for the last 2 years and have not experienced any symptoms whatsoever. So I am now 54 years old. I was 52.
Let's go to the next one here.
What made me start using the glutathione capsules was that I had turned to Dr. Gina with typical perimenopausal symptoms, dullness of skin, being run down, sleepless nights, sweats. She recommended glutathione capsules, and I never looked back. It's now 12 years, I believe, 15 even. And it's the one product that if I don't have it, I would run to get it. I have definitely noticed an uplifting of my mood and mental health. What surprised me the most was that not only did I feel all the benefits that Dr. Gina had laid out to me beforehand, I also felt like there are things going on she hadn't mentioned. And as I said before, I really heavily rely on that product. I travel with it. I leave all the other supplements at home, but I always have my glutathione with me. I'm a big fan. Since I had such very good and very fast acting experience, I mean, it set in after a couple of days, not a couple of weeks. And that's such a good experience with Best Daily Ever. I would recommend it, actually. In fact, I have recommended it a lot because I have other friends who are experiencing perimenopausal symptoms. And since I'm slightly older than most of my friends, they all come to me, and the first thing I recommend is the glutathione.
So the glutathione, that what they're talking about, it's the most important, like I said, detox agent, in my opinion, in the body. And it's part of, I kind of incorporated it into our 21-day group purification program. So what is that? This is a program I designed over 20 years ago. So it's tried and true. It's a diet and a lifestyle program that's very well thought out and very well organized. It's 3 different modules. You go through these different phases of purifying and supporting the clearance of toxins from your liver, your kidneys. I formulated all of this, your gut, your skin, and your lymphatic system. And so essentially, this program, it gives your detox mechanisms a break. By doing that, it helps them to kick back into gear. And so you're removing toxins that are burdening that whole system, that it's leading to things like neuroinflammation, which is inflammation in the brain, that's leading to cognitive decline, mood disorders, weight gain, and all the symptoms we've been talking about. So I created a group purification program. The reason why I did this is I love one-on-one. I love connecting with each and every one of you, one-on-one, because every woman is different and every woman has different needs. I also love women having the support they need to succeed, because we all have busy lives. And while it may be easy to say, hey, drink half your body weight in ounces of water a day, that's one thing that you do on this program. There's a lot that you do, but it's all very doable. Nothing is, not doable. I designed it so that for myself, really, so that I could be working. If I wanted to exercise, I wouldn't be exhausted. I didn't want to be on a juice fast or water fast. I wanted to create a program that was long enough to where it really detoxed my body, but where I could still have a life and operate and function. And I wanted it to be doable for anyone who was committed and decided, okay, tonight's the night, this is it, I'm starting this purification program, that they would be able to do it and they would be able to succeed. And so having a group program, it allows, everyone to come together and support one another. So there's power in numbers, and women these days, especially, there's a disconnect. Everybody's trying to connect with, other people, but because of COVID and a whole slew of reasons, you guys know, I don't have to say it, it's harder. It's harder to find community and to gain the support you need, and you deserve it. You deserve the support that you need in order to go up against what you're facing in terms of exposure to toxins, hormone imbalances, stress, and all of that. You deserve to have the support and the inspiration you need to succeed. So that's the intent behind it. And in that program, I put together a private group chat. And so there's communication happening all the time. I'm regularly chiming in and making sure to answer specific questions. You're going to learn about changes in your diet. And so there is once you sign up, I'm assuming you're all going to do the purification program. So once you sign up, you give yourself like a week to prepare before you actually start. So if you sign up, plan to start like a week later, and you'll get guidance from me, but you'll want to go and get the right groceries and really just prepare and get your mind ready to do this, and to do this once and for all. With this program, as you learn how to eat and how to look at food and how to manage your stress and how to hydrate and all of these things, it's going to get like integrated into your lifestyle. My goal is that by the end of the 21 days, you continue taking what you've learned long term. And that's why this program has been around for so long, because it works and people benefit from it long term. It's not something where you do this quick fast, you lose 10 pounds, but it's not sustainable. And then you're right back where you were before. This is about healing, peeling away the layers of the onion and getting back to your true self, where you feel energized, grounded, balanced, hormonally balanced, and just, ready to conquer the world and do whatever it is you want to do next. And you have that ability to do that. And this program, it's you get lasting transformations. And so there you have it. So now let's open up to some Q&A. I'm going to take some questions. I've been tracking them, just looking over at my other screen. The question was, what is the 21-day purification program? How does it work? So I talked a little bit about it. How does a 21-day purification program help with hormone balance and menopause symptoms? I think you guys get it, right? So you're supporting detoxification for 21 days straight. For 21 days. It takes about 21 days to change habits. And when we're changing the way we eat, it's easy to talk about. It is not easy to do. And that's another reason to have the group support, because just saying, hey, don't eat wheat anymore or don't eat dairy. Do you know how hard that is in your day-to-day life? It's not easy. But if you have other people that are saying, hey, I found this really great cheese, or here's an awesome recipe that's part of the purification diet, try it. Because this program has been around for so long, there are plenty of options out there. And so you're going to learn how to cook and eat in a healthy way that supports detoxification. And by doing that, you're going to help with your menopausal challenges and promote hormone balance. No question. It's just how it works. Will I lose weight during the 21-day purification program? Yeah, it's not a weight loss program, but you lose weight. It's like impossible not to. And that's just because when you've got toxic buildup, it causes weight gain. It causes hormonal imbalances that cause weight gain. And so there's no question that as you detoxify, you are also promoting a healthy, balanced weight for your body. Can I exercise while doing the program? Yes. Yes, you can exercise. You're going to have energy. There may be days where you feel a little more tired, and I'll coach you through that. You'll be getting these modules. You're going to get all this information, but you'll know how to get through it and what to expect. But I always say, listen to your body. If you're tired, rest. But the most important thing is to make the decision. Decide today that this is important to you. And whether depending on, we all have budgets and priorities, and I get all of that. And so I have different levels. Just take the glutathione product. Just start there. And that is, you're part of our community. I'm right there with you. Take the glutathione product. You're going to be supporting detoxification. If you're ready for the next level, do the group purification program, and I'll be right there with you. And you'll experience the next level. It's kind of like good, better, best, right? And then if you want like that one-on-one lab testing, physician to patient relationship, that's more of concierge, where you can text me directly when you need to, and you want that level of care, I have a 6-month program. It's a higher ticket item. I only have 8 spots for that because that's just the time that I have to dedicate to it. And I make sure to dedicate that time to my patients that are part of this program. But there's that level as well. And so depending on what your needs are, all I call you to do is take action, make a decision. You're worth it. Don't worry about, I don't have the time. There are ways around that. If you make the decision and you feel called to start. There's never a better time than right now, if it's the right time for you. What types of foods are allowed on the purification program? There's actually a lot. Lots of fruits and vegetables, seeds, spices. There's actually a lot. Part of the program is a vegan type of a program, but just for a short period. And then you graduate into introducing animal protein if you aren't a vegan or vegetarian. And I go through, how to select the right animal protein. And so there's a lot of variety, actually, and there's tons of recipes. There are recipe books that have been written about my program. And so you have a lot of options. You also do meal replacement shakes, which are fun. You usually do like one shake in the morning, one shake in the afternoon. And then you can still eat if you're hungry. You're not limited to just having the shakes, but there's tons of recipes for those and they taste good. And so you can take those. And then if you're hungry still, there's a whole list of foods that are part of the program. It's not, it's very doable, but it works and it's tried and true. How personalized is your 6-month Radiant Health program for addressing individual health goals? It's extreme. That's the most personalized program. You have access to me as needed. We do a ton of lab testing and I analyze the labs and I put together if bioidentical hormones are to be part of the program. I personally formulate those. I formulate supplements specific for your body. You go through the purification program as well. And so it includes the purification program, but it's a very robust, comprehensive program and it is very individualized to who you are and what your needs are. Oh, what are the primary benefits of enrolling in the Radiant Health program over a shorter term program? You know what? There's benefits to everything. There's benefits to taking Best Daily Ever daily, starting to take glutathione and get your detox mechanisms working and help to clear hormones. And that may be all you need. There's benefits to doing the group purification program, no question. And then there's benefits to doing the more long-term program if it's something that's affordable for you and your family and it's something you're ready for and we have the space for it. There's benefits of that. So it's really just all of them are beneficial and something is only as beneficial as if it's appropriate for you. And so that's why I have the different levels of care. But I'm here, you're part of our community no matter what. So any other questions? Let's see here, more here. What milligrams of glutathione is needed to detox? So, the milligram dosage is interesting. Usually between 250 and 500 milligrams of glutathione is appropriate. I am a big fan of not doing really high doses like through an IV or whatnot. And the reason is that glutathione is under what's called tight homeostatic control. And so your body will only utilize so much. And so I like to give what's called physiologic doses, basically replenishing what your body is depleted in. Because again, most people don't realize it's under tight homeostatic control. So more isn't better. And usually when you're doing like the IV pushes and stuff, how much of that is actually getting into the mitochondria where it will have the action? We don't know. But I'm more of a fan of taking a form that's bioavailable. So the form I created, it's actually oral, which a lot of glutathione in the market, it doesn't work if you take it in oral form. This one does. Clinical research studies proven, double-blind placebo-controlled trials showing it boosts blood levels and red blood cell levels. But I'm a fan of just taking physiologic doses. What if you are already gluten, dairy, soy, corn, and sugar-free? Yeah, you'll still benefit from the program. No question. There's a lot more to it than being all those things. There is no gluten, dairy, soy, corn, sugar on the program, but there's a lot more to it. A lot more to it too, because you're doing things, excuse me, you're taking things that are supporting your detox mechanisms every day. So what's included? So in the 21-day purification program, there's 3 live Zoom session modules with me personally. There's an exclusive interactive community, a private 24/7 chat room, and that's for our group only. Tons of purification recipes. You'll have progress tracking, so you'll know where you're at, and you're going to get that personalized guidance from me. So that's 20 plus years of insights. I wrote a book on detoxification, a textbook. I'm really passionate about this area, so there's a lot to it, more than I can give in a an hour-long webinar, but you get a lot. There's a Radiant Health program. So I mentioned that. So that's like the good, better, best. This would be the best. This is like for those of you who are ready for that level of care where, you text me when there's an issue. I give you bioidentical hormones if you need them. And there's any issues at all, I address them right away. Or if you just need motivation or you need to be heard, I love doing that as well. My goal, I'm results oriented. My goal is that you get the results that you want and the results you deserve. And so with the Radiant Health program, it includes the purification program. that's in it, but it's also, there's a whole lot more. And it's a medical program. So you become my patient. And that's the pricing for that. So access to the 21-day purification program, individual benefits versus private session, just kind of giving you a comparison of the value. And so for you guys, thank you very much. You've stuck it out to the end, and we are at the end here. We're going to wrap up in just a minute. So you saw what the dollar amounts are for what you're getting. Normally it's actually over $2,000 for what's included. And tonight we're doing it for $915, and that's for the full program. Tonight only. And also we're included. This is, again, thank you for all of you guys for participating. I'm so happy that you're here. So happy you're here. We're including, I've made the decision to include all of the supplements for free. So you're not paying for any of the supplements. I've designed all of them. So these formulas have been around for a long time, and they are specific for, one of you guys was asking, well, what if I already have a clean diet? Well, you're going to be it'll be easier. The program will be easier for you, but you're going to be taking very specific supplements too that bind to toxins and remove them from your body, that support the clearance of toxins through your kidneys, your liver, your gut, your skin, and your lymphatic system. So it's a multi-system, true purification program that is tried and true and works. But we're including it all. 2 bottles of the meal replacement, which is great. You're going to get a particular fiber supplement, SP Cleanse, SP Green Food, and the glutathione. And, oh, wow. So for the first 10 of you guys who sign up by midnight tonight, and I know it's getting close now, especially you guys on the East Coast, if you sign up by midnight tonight, and that could be midnight Pacific time for those of you who are on the East Coast, so you have a little time. You're also going to get a free 30-day supply of our Best Daily Ever Pixie Sticks. So those cost $62.50. They're amazing. They taste amazing. They taste like pixie sticks. And if any of you guys know about glutathione, it tastes gross. It just does. It's a sulfur compound. And so this was a divinely inspired formula. And I put it together. I had the idea years ago. I formulated it during COVID, and I just launched it now. And so you guys are going to get a free box of that as well. So that has glutathione, vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, magnesium, glycine. It's pretty amazing. And it tastes good. And they're kind of addicting, but it's a good addiction. So, and you can add them to water. You can just take them like a pixie stick. So it's a pretty good deal for those of you who are interested. And today only, there is actually, if you use the coupon code EARLYBIRD at checkout, you're going to get an additional 15% off. So that's today only. So then the program is only $777.75. So that's a really, really good deal. So thank you. You'll get a link to the program if you would like to, oops, I just clicked on the link. If you would like to sign up for it, put in that coupon code. Let me see if I can get back there so you guys can see all this. Put in the coupon code to get that extra bonus. For those of you guys who aren't sure and you don't care about the extra bonuses or that are happening tonight, they're actually really good deals. You can schedule what's called a discovery call. And so you can call our office and schedule a 5-minute call with me to kind of figure out what would be best for you. Or you can just start with the, glutathione. Like I said, the purification program is a great deal. Tonight is a great deal for the purification program. You could sign up for that and still schedule the discovery call to talk about the Radiant Health program. And that might be a good route for you. And so with that, I want to say good night. Thank you. Welcome to our community. And there's going to be lots more to come.